Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
Hi and welcome to another Sticks Radio show here on Seclo Sounds with me, Terry Sullivan. Today on the show I've got 4 guests. Yes, 4 guests. Later on in the show I'm going to be talking to Lucy the Slut and the 2 Bad Ideas Bears from the hit musical Avenue Q. But first up I've got a gentleman synonymous with the 80s with a band called Fine Young Cannibals. I've got Roland Gift. But first let's hear his big hit single, Johnny Come Home.
Hi, I'm Jimmy James Jones, and I am the host of Spotlight, Milton Keynes' largest prize talent search brought to you by New Money Entertainment. We've been looking for the best musical talent in Milton Keynes and the surrounding areas since July last year. From hundreds of submissions, we now have 8 semi-finalists, and we are now putting the fans in control. It's over to you, the listener, to choose who your favourite performer is by placing your vote on the artist profile page. Just search for New Money Presents Spotlight or go online to newmoneyrecordings.com. The top 4 most voted will be going on to perform at the live £5,000 grand final in August with Rising Stars and X Factor finalist Rough Copy. Voting closes in June 2015, so be sure to show your support.
So show me family, and all the
Okay, that was Johnny come home from the Fine Young Cannibals, and my guest today is none other than Roland Gift, the frontman of the Fine Young Cannibals. Good morning, Roland. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. How you doing?
I'm doing very, very well. I remember you very, very well. It was my music era, so I'm quite excited about having you on today. Can we talk about sort of your early life?
Talk about anything you like.
Okay. Well, you were born in Birmingham perhaps something that was a bit of a stigma then, a white mother and a black father.
Yep.
And you lived there till the age of 11. What was it like in Birmingham? That sort of time of the year, that time of the that era.
That era.
I get my teeth organised this morning.
Yeah. Well, I suppose like any child, you're very adaptable, so you don't necessarily. It's only looking back that you can ask sort of questions, because as a kid you don't really wonder in that same way. But in fact, I was in Birmingham a while ago for a funeral, in fact, and I was talking to somebody that I grew up in the street that I was born in with, and I hadn't really realised, but nobody in that street was English. They were either Scottish, Irish, West Indian, Pakistani, and the people that I did think were English were actually German. But as a kid, it was a very mixed. I suppose it was multicultural.
Very, very cosmopolitan.
So I didn't really notice any kind of racism until I moved to Hull, which was a very white place at the time.
Yeah, because Hull, well, I don't know what it was like then, but Hull's sort of a very sort of middle class sort of area, isn't it? Really?
Well, no.
No, it's not.
No, it isn't. It was a very it was very working class.
Really?
Predominantly, yeah.
And your mother, she run a load of clothes shops, second-hand clothes shops in Hull when.
Yeah. I mean, she only ever had one at the time, but she had different premises.
Okay, and that's how she supported you as a child.
Yeah.
Because you had 3 sisters and 1 brother, didn't you, as well? Yeah. And so how did you going from Birmingham, the big city, to Hull, which is perhaps not such a big city, how did that sort of affect you?
I was terribly homesick, actually.
Were you?
When I moved. There used to be a program called Pebble Mill at 1.
I remember it well.
Yeah. Well, that was made in Birmingham at the Pebble Mill Studios, which weren't necessarily that close to where I lived. But I used to watch Pebble Mill at 1 with hoping, because they used to film it in the foyer, so you could see people walking past. Now, I was so homesick that I used to watch Pebble Mill at 1, hoping that I'd get a glimpse of somebody that I might know passing by the window of the foyer of the Pebble Mill building. So it was quite a culture shock.
Yeah. So how did the music sort of bite then? How did you first get into music?
Well, I was in a drama group, and we did this what they call a 30s cabaret, and I sang in that, and somebody had said that, somebody had noticed my voice, and it was quite encouraging, and that sort of, I think that was the thing that sort of started me off, really.
Yeah, because you do have a very distinctive voice.
Thank you.
I'm not unpleasant either, so I wasn't being rude or anything like that. I actually quite like.
Yeah, no, you could take it either way.
Yeah, I know, but I was being nice. I enjoyed listening to the Fine Young Cannibals and still do. But when you first got into music, you were playing the old saxophone.
Yeah, because I sort of started. The first group I started in was a punk band.
A punk band.
And a lot of punk groups, the singing wasn't really that
important.
All that really. So I thought it'd be good to play an instrument. And my best mate's dad, Jack Pepper said that I'd look good with a saxophone. So that's why I got one, for the image.
For the image rather than anything else. You could actually play it though. Did you?
Yeah.
I was going to say that's
I
not
learned to play it.
It's not the easiest instrument in the world to play, is it?
It's not the hardest, but I think to play it really well. It's I mean, it's a bit like a voice, really.
It can be trained. Yeah, I love the saxophone. I must admit, it is a favourite instrument myself. But then you were with a whole ska band.
Yeah. Well, we started out as the Acrylic Victims.
Yeah.
And it was everybody was at art college who was in the band. I wasn't. I had a girlfriend who was at art college. And then we changed it to the Acrylics. And we thought we were more punk reggae, but then when ska started taking off, we did that.
Well, ska was huge. I mean, and it's still quite big now. We got the specials are back on the scene, and Madness have never been away, have they? So that's great.
No.
But then you sort of were brought to the attention of Andy Cox and David Steele of the Beat, and then you went on toured with them.
Well, yeah, the Acrylics. One of our bands, the Beat came to play at the Welly Club in Hull, and it was a venue that we used to go to. There was a club there. We always used to go there. It was kind of like a big hangout. And one of I think it was the keyboard player, gave the Beat a demo tape, and they liked it, so they took us on tour. So we did about 10 days supporting the Beat up and down the country.
That must have been great fun.
Oh no, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
it was really good.
And how did the Fine Young Cannibals come about from that?
Well, the Beat had split, and our group had split, and I'd moved to London, and I didn't know, but Dave and Andy had been looking for a singer, and they'd had like this thing running on MTV, searching for a singer.
Okay.
And they hadn't had any luck, and then either David or Andy, I think, had remembered me from the Critics days, and I was mainly playing saxophone. I think I did one song, but they thought, oh, what about that guy from the Acrylics from Hull? And I was in London at the time, but they managed to track me down, and they invited me up to Birmingham to meet them and talk about it, and they had some backing tracks, and I took them away, and I managed to get about 1.5 songs out of what they'd given me.
So how did
we just started. I would go up to Birmingham from London a couple of days, 2 or 3 days at a time, and we just worked on songs.
So how did the name come about? How was there, Fine Young Cannibals? Is there a reason for the name, or?
Well, there's a film called All the Fine Young Cannibals,
and that's what it came from, was it?
Yeah. Well, we'd been given a front cover by Blues and Soul magazine, but we hadn't got a name, and if we hadn't got it, if we didn't get a name, we were going to lose the front cover.
Ah, okay.
So we needed a name.
A quick name, and it's interesting how some of the bands of that era sort of found their names. Or, Duran Duran was from a villain in Barbarella, I believe, and A Teardrop Explodes, I think, was a comic book, and all sorts. It's always very interesting to find out how the names sort of originated. It's great like that. In 1990, you were named by People magazine as one of the 50 most beautiful people in the world.
Yeah. What a curse.
You think so? You think so? It could have been worse. Could have been 50 most ugliest people in the world.
Yeah, I know.
How did as you say, a curse? How did you sort of feel about that? It must have been very odd.
It's just funny. People sort of say, a lot of things get said about you when you're well known, and that was just kind of like one of them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one that's stuck